Hello there. Welcome back to Grade 11 Business Studies. In this video, we want to look at a question on paper one. It's still working on the question paper of November 2023, and we are going to look at paper one. We are still working on paper one. Today, we want to look at an essay question, that is question 5 of that question paper on business environments, on adapting to challenges of business environment in particular. So, this is the question that we have. So, we are going to go through the question. We are given information that we are given before the question. Information that we are given leads businesses use networking and lobbying to meet their specific needs and activities. Successful businesses have the ability to adapt to the many challenges that their businesses face. Businesses should undertake projects that can benefit their community due to the benefits of these projects for businesses and the community. So this is the information that we are given, and then I believe that we are told that write an essay on adapting to challenges of the business environment in which you include the following aspects. So you are going to include to outline the advantages of networking. You outline the advantages of networking, then you explain the following types of lobbying, whereby we have hedging against inflation, and then we're going to bargaining sessions between management and unions. And also, you're supposed to discuss any three ways in which businesses can adapt to challenges of the business environments. And lastly, you should recommend projects that can be undertaken by businesses as part of social responsibility. So our question is the total of 40 marks. So this is what we have. So going there, this is an essay question. And obviously, we are supposed to have an introduction. So in your introduction, you can just define a concept or a keyword that appears in the question. That is the easiest way of constructing your introduction. And you should take note that you should not include part of the question in the introduction, and also avoid saying what we are going to discuss in the body in the introduction. So those are some of the requirements that we are well versed with. So we are just supposed to take note of that. So looking at our question, what you can include in your introduction, you can define the term networking in your introduction, and then you can also try to discuss the essence of lobbying in your introduction. We have also lobbying that is there. So we are saying discuss an aspect or discuss or we are supposed to just define one of the terms that we have there. So it can be an aspect, it can be a term. So this is what we have. So you can just pick any term that is easier for you to define, and we just define it in the introduction. And we should take note that we should not include part of the question in the introduction. So this is what we have in the introduction. So going to our main body, we are going to start on outlining the advantages of networking. So we can just maybe try to understand what exactly is networking. But we know that networking is the exchange of information and ideas among people or parties with a common interest. Or we can just try to define it from the point of view that it's a process of making connections and building relationships. So this is a brief explanation that we have in terms of networking. And then our question is advantages of networking. So what are the advantages of us connecting with other parties of common interest? What do we gain from that? Obviously, we are going to get up to date in terms of the information that is within the context of the if it's a market that we are operating in, we are always updated about the information that is there in the market. So let's try to see in terms of advantages that we have according to this video. We come here. This is the first part on outlining the advantages of networking. And the first advantage that we have is that business can attract new customers and resulting in increased market share and profitability. So we are going to notice an increase in market share and profitability if we are engaged in networking, because of course we are going to attract new customers. By networking, remember, we can network by possible customers or potential customers that we have. We can try to engage them. That's also a process of networking. So through the process, we gain increased market share and profitability. So this is the first point that we have. Second point, saying networking can be an excellent source of new perspective and business ideas. Remember, we are going to engage with other businesses that are in our industry. And with that, we are going to source information, we're going to get new perspective and also new business ideas. So this is a second point that we have, allows managers to build new business relationships and generate new business opportunities. So obviously, through the process of networking, interacting with other parties, new business opportunities might come up through that. So this is what we have. The next one plays a role in the marketing and expansion of your business. Obviously, the expansion of the business is always going to be influenced by the process of networking. Then next one, assist business in making future business decisions. And then we've got the business can get support when representation to various authorities is planned. So these are the points that we have in terms of outlining the advantages of networking. Then on the second part, according to the question, we are supposed to explain. We can just maybe try to refer back to our question. It's saying, explain the following types of lobbying, whereby we've got the hedging, inflation, hedging against inflation. So basically, lobbying, by lobbying, what we are trying to do is we are trying to have an act of protecting. So that's what we have there. So how are we going to protect ourselves against inflation? Is the aspect that we have on the first point, hedging against inflation. And then we have got the bargaining sessions between management and unions. So going to our other section, we've got some points that we have there that we can go through. So on the part of hedging against inflation is a type of lobbying. The business use hedging by buying goods, shares, property, or buying precious metals like gold to protect capital from the effects of inflation. So the business is trying to protect itself from the effects of inflation. Remember, when there is inflation, it's associated, there is a relationship that exists between inflation and the value of currency in the country. When inflation goes up, we are obviously going to notice a depreciation of our local currency. The currency is going to lose value. So for us to be proactive, to protect the business, to protect the business funds, we are supposed to buy bonds so that we don't hold cash, but we hold marketable securities in the form of maybe we talk about bonds, we talk about shares, we talk about a property of buying property also, or buying precious metals. So in this case, we are saying we are anticipating that we are going to have inflation and the currency is going to lose value. So we convert our cash into marketable securities so that when the currency gains value in future, we then reconvert our marketable securities into cash now. So this is exactly what we have on the first point. The second point is saying businesses invest surplus funds so that its value grows at a faster rate than inflation. So also we can also engage in investment. Remember, investment, we are saying when we are investing, we are spending money today with expectations that we are going to get future benefits from that expenditure that we've done today. So this is another alternative again under hedging against inflation, whereby we are saying instead of keeping our cash or our money, we invest it so that we gain more revenue from that investment, and that will be in a position that the revenue that we are going to get will be growing at a faster rate than inflation. So that's how we can gain. So this is the second point that we have. The third point, businesses use hedging to protect their financial investment by spreading the risk. So this becomes the last point that we have in terms of explaining hedging against inflation as a type of lobbying. So we go to the next part where we have an explanation of the bargaining sessions between management and unions as a type of lobbying. So we go there and try to see. So we know that this is bargaining sessions. These are negotiations that are taking place between management and the unions. So how is it going to act as a protection measure? So I will go to the first point and say these sessions enable employees to negotiate with the employers as a group to protect employees' rights. So in this way, the protection is coming from the point of view of employees, and the employees are the ones that are going to be protected in terms of their rights. So by engaging in negotiations between the unions, they engage into negotiations with management so that they protect the interests of the employees. So exactly that we have on the first part, which is the first point. And then we go to the second point, which is saying bargaining sessions prevent labor strikes and provide crucial information to people in power. So we are saying by engaging also in these negotiations is going to prevent labor strikes. And we are not going to see industrial actions taking place, and this is going to act in the benefit of the business or the company. And also, it provides critical information to people in power. So it means that through those negotiations, that way that management is going to get hold of some information that was not exposed before. So it becomes an advantage to the management. So this is the second point that we have. The last point, the purpose of bargaining session is to find a win-win situation for all parties. So having a win-win situation, this is a situation whereby one is good. Yeah, it's a situation that is good for everyone who is involved. So at the end of the day, we are saying by engaging in negotiations between management and unions, at the end of the day, we should see both parties in a better position. That is a win-win situation. So in this case, employers and employees work together to meet interests and maximize value creation. So this is what we have in terms of the last point on the win-win. That is saying the purpose of bargaining sessions is to find a win-win situation for all parties. Then we go to the next point. The next question is saying discuss 3 ways in which our businesses can adapt to challenges to a business environment. So basically, we can try to understand exactly what is a business environment, but we know that a business environment includes both internal and external factors. So when we have an environment that is including both internal and external factors, we now call it a business environment. So these factors, we know that these will be internal and external factors that influence a business. So we are going to see that the first way that business can adapt to challenges in business environments is information management. So information management, we are saying it involves a collection, a storage, and maintenance of data and types of information, and also it also involves the distribution of that information. So basically, we're saying information management starts from collection and storage of the information, and then the maintenance of data and types of information. And then finally, it also involves the issue of distribution of that information. So this is what we have on the first point. Then we go to the next point, which is saying strategic response being the second way. So on strategic response, we are saying management needs to design strategic responses to various challenges by analyzing all information, identifying stakeholders are involved. But basically, strategic response, it refers to the application of different approaches taken by firms in investing in information systems based on their growth stage and business objectives. So this is the explanation on strategic response. So on the second point, is saying get a clear picture of each stakeholder's viewpoints and requirements. And then we try to move on to the next one. The next one, which is the third one, is saying a business should have a strategic plan to respond to changes in the business environment. So this is the explanation that we have in terms of our strategic response. Then we go to the last part, which is the last way, which is mergers, takeovers, acquisitions, and alliances. So obviously, a brief explanation of what is a merger, what is a takeover, what is an acquisition, what is an alliance. But we are seeing that all of them explain the basis of the different businesses coming together, working together. So this is what we have in terms of all the descriptions that we have in terms of mergers, takeovers, acquisitions, and alliances. Looking at a merger, it is an agreement that it unites two existing companies into one company. So there is an agreement that should be there for you to engage into a merger. And then you go on and see that we also have an alliance, which obviously is a business alliance. It's an agreement between businesses usually motivated by cost reduction and improved service for the customer. And also we have a takeover, which is the purchase of one business by another business. Basically, that's that in terms of takeover. Then acquisition, we are saying this is when the acquiring company buys the shares or the assets of the target company. But basically, we are seeing that we are having an integration that is there, that is taking place between two different businesses. So that is the basis of what we have on the last point of a way in which businesses can adapt to challenges to business environment. So explanation that we have beneath that is that businesses can acquire the shares of another company, and then we have businesses can choose to purchase or merge with one another as a way to have a larger market share. So this is the reason behind engaging in that merger, so that they have a larger market share. So lastly, they can undertake a new venture with another company, which can be a safer way than expanding the existing business. So this is the last point that we have. And honestly, we look at the last part that we want to look at according to the question, which is saying the government project that can be undertaken by the business is part of social responsibility. And you know that this is a corporate social responsibility. And we know that corporate social responsibility is a management concept that describes how a company contributes to the well-being of communities and society through environmental and social measures. So you'll see that the essence behind engaging in corporate social responsibility, it helps attract customers and investors. So that's the essence behind engaging in corporate social responsibility. So the question is asking us for the projects that we can engage in as we undertake the social responsibility. Obviously, we have to take care of the community, to contribute to the society. That is, those are the typical projects that we can have. In terms of maybe uh, trying to make the unemployed in the community employed, and those are typical projects that we should engage in. Environmental friendly projects that are going to protect the environment that we are operating in also can be part of that. So let's try to see, according to our answer section, what we have in terms of that. So on that, we have got the combination that we have that can be undertaken by businesses as part of corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility. The first part is saying uh, engage in environmentally friendly campaigns such as recycling or reusing scarce resources. So this becomes one of them, one of the projects. And then second, was business must support less fortunate people by providing donations to charity organizations. They can do that. Then next, they can also engage in economic development and provide education on HIV or AIDS awareness programs. So in this case, they are trying to protect the society that they are operating in. So the next one, build schools in communities or offer bursaries to need students or donate old computers to less privileged schools. And then next one, teach entrepreneurial skills, offer support to individuals starting new businesses. And then next one, conduct job creation projects or offer bricklaying courses. Then sponsor art and cultural programs such as school choirs. And lastly, support youth programs such as sport activities. So you are seeing that these are projects that are trying to protect the community or society that we are living in, and also trying to upgrade them. And some of the projects might be projects that are going to upgrade the infrastructure development that is around where we are operating in. That becomes a social responsibility, trying to upgrade the community that we are living in, to conscientize the community that we are living in of certain issues. We are seeing that we have got the engagement of HIV and AIDS awareness programs also that are there in the response, and that we should also provide education on HIV AIDS awareness programs. And so we are trying to conscientize the society that there is a pandemic that is there in terms of HIV and AIDS, which needs to be taken care of. So this is what we have in terms of the last part of this essay. And lastly, obviously, we are going to have your conclusion. So you are supposed to come up with your conclusion, but basically we know that in a conclusion we should take note of a few points whereby we are saying in a conclusion we should just try to bring it down as a brief summary of what has been discussed. So what we've discussed in the body, you can just try to summarize it briefly, but take note that do not repeat what we have said in the main body, and you can try to come up with recommendations. You can put recommendations in the main body, recommendations of how best you can deal with the problem maybe that we are discussing in the main body. So you can also come up with an opinion on the facts discussed. So the facts that we've discussed in the body, you can come up with an opinion and try to sum up it in the conclusion. So this is what we have in terms of the essay, and this was the question paper of November 2023. So let's stay tuned for videos to come. Let's not forget to subscribe and share. Let's share the link to our colleagues who are doing grade 11 business studies. We'll meet again in the next video. More typical examination questions are going to be uploaded on this channel. Let's stay notified. As for this video, I'm signing out. Let's meet again in the next video.